Hello and welcome to day 3 of Mental Stamina. Today we are talking about all things physical health. So a little bit of housekeeping while I think some people are still rolling in here. We have my Calendly link is open. If you have not booked a call, I would love to visit with you. I have free 30-minute calls. We can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about, whether it's your mindset, whether it's your physical health, whatever areas you feel like up to this point that I could help you with. I am more than happy to get on a call. I set my schedule. I open up spaces just for this during summit weeks. And it's one of my favorite parts of what I get to do here. So that's available. There's also a workbook. If you haven't printed the workbook off, go ahead and do that because the replays are going to disappear Friday night. And if you'd like to take notes on anything we've covered so far, you'd be able to just put that on your workbook and then you'll have it. Let's see. And then a quick recap of what we've talked about so far. So day 1 was byproduct of thought and awareness is key. So where are we in our mindset? What are we thinking? How is this actually affecting us? Just becoming aware of things because it's really difficult to change something that we're not aware of. After that, we went into alignment and persistence. And we did the meditation. We talked about the vagus nerve. We reset our vagus nerve yesterday. So if you missed that, the replay is up. There's a YouTube link. It's usually emailed out to everyone. And that is something that has helped me and has helped several of my clients tremendously. It's just resetting their nervous system. So, and then as far as alignment and persistence, when we get in alignment and we persist, I think this is where a lot of us kind of struggle is in the persistence thing. Like we know what to do most of the time. Sometimes we don't know, but for the most part, we know the things to implement in our life to make it better, to elevate us, to grow us. But it is in the staying focused long enough and using our willpower for ourselves to be persistent in the things that we know would propel and move us forward. So that is where a lot of the magic happens, is in the persistence phase. And so today we're going into physical health. Before we get into that, I would love to share a story about just some of my clients and the things that I get to see happen when I work with people. So a lot of people come in, they don't have clarity. They have no idea where are we going? What are we doing? Why are we here? And they feel like their life is spinning out of control. And so the first thing I like to do is to get very clear on what would you love? And start to answer some of those questions. And who are you? So we go through lots of phases in life. And I think for many of us, we're scared of change. Change does not have to be scary. And that is one thing that stays the same is change. Everything is evolving. We're always growing. We're always evolving. Things are always changing. Nothing stays the same. So if we can learn to welcome change, to appreciate change, to step into it from a place of power and a place of peace, a place of trust, then we move through it with a lot more ease. And the experience is a lot more enjoyable. So when we get clear and we decide, okay, well, where are we at now? What season are we in? How do we change and adapt to the season of life that we're in now? And how can we make the most of that? And then several people, what I noticed was I started out with a 6-week course and it was called Self-Concept. And it was really getting deep into knowing who you are, letting go of some things from the past, learning how to use your perception to transform those things into a good experience, like where you can extract the good from it and let go of the things that no longer serve you, where you can bless and release things, forgive things, and really walk through what might be holding you back and what might still be identifying you as part of your identity, and letting that go and then creating a new identity, because every action we take stems from what we believe about ourselves to be true. And a lot of that for a lot of us does not serve us. When you think about things in life, you could think for some reason the negative sticks out a lot more than the positive. We can have 57 great experiences. Let's just take online. Maybe you post something online and you get 62 people that say, you're amazing, congratulations, and all this stuff. And maybe one person has one negative things to say. The one comment that you're going to remember that sticks out probably is the negative one. And so why is this in life that we have this hyper focus on perfectionism, and when it's not perfect, and when something does not go according to plan, or we receive feedback that's not great, we take that on as something to be true about us. What if we could switch this around? And what if we didn't even need confirmation from anyone else to believe what we choose to believe about ourselves? So I started there, and I saw awesome results, and I had awesome feedback from people, and I loved what I did. And I realized several people were coming in. They weren't sleeping well. They weren't eating well. They didn't, there was a lot of pieces in their physical health of dots that had not been connected. And it was really tough for them to control and choose their mindset, their emotions. It was tough to do the mindset work when their body did not feel good, and they physically, their nervous system was out of whack. They physically, it was challenging. It put more challenges on the mindset work that we did. So then I thought, I think we need more time together. I think we need more time together. And I have this nursing background, and I thought to myself, why did I go do all of that to not use it in what I'm doing? Like, I have the knowledge. How do I incorporate that into the mindset piece of what we're doing here? So I developed an entire 6-month course where we go into thorough assessments of your physical health, your mental health, and your spiritual health. And then we have an underlying, like we develop a plan, what is most urgent for you, and what can we start to implement? Something might be urgent, but you might not have the time to implement something. So how can we find something that to customize to you what would work well for you? If you're not sleeping well, that's number one, I believe. Getting you sleeping well. Making sure that you are hydrated. Saying like, hey, have you had any of these tests run? Any of this lab work done? Could there be vitamin and mineral deficiencies? We're going to talk about all of this in a little bit, but we go into depth of looking at you as a whole person. And then we work on this throughout our whole time together. I hold you accountable to what you say you're going to do, because you know what's best for you. I help you remember who you are. We don't forget. I don't think we ever forget who we are. We just get, we put distance between it, and we forget who we are. And so I continuously bring you back to who you truly are, and to your highest good, and to what you can do today. So we implement these things throughout our time together. And then you have sessions every week, group sessions every single week. There's also a lesson every single week. The lesson is like 20 to 45 minutes long. It's not very long at all. There's a workbook for you to sit down and do the work and get things on paper. Something magic happens when you take things that are in here and you put it on paper. So getting it out, expressing it, giving yourself space and time to pour into you, to realize and become aware, like, where am I at in all of this? Like, really, truly, where am I at? And really, truly, where would I like to be? Getting clarity on these things, resetting your nervous system, walking through all this. So the lesson is every week. The group sessions are every week. And then you have a one-on-one with me every other week. This can be 30 minutes to an hour long, where we get down and we say, okay, personally for you, what does this look like? How could we customize this to make this fit into your schedule, fit into your budget, fit into the lifestyle that you live, what's available for you, and your personality? Because what works for one person might not work for another person, and that's okay. So we take all of this and customize this to you. I'm right beside you. I'm in the trenches with you. I'm holding your hand the entire way through. And we are doing this together. And this course is called Transform. It is a complete transformation from the inside out on all 3 planes: the physical plane, the mental plane, and the spiritual plane. Because I believe that's what makes up a whole person. And I don't think that we can truly successfully have our full potential of growth in one area without incorporating all three. And so that is basically what the Transform course is. And then throughout that, so you have an app and you have a client vault. I'm pulling this up for you so that you can see what this looks like. You just click on it. You can listen to it when you're driving. So you just go through here, you click it, and it'll say that you've finished it when you've finished it. I think you can see some of those. I'll just read you a few of them. Clarity, nervous system reset. Then we do all the health assessments, physical, mental, spiritual. And then we go into clearing the past. So we do forgiveness, bless and release, energy clearing. I teach you how to do tapping. I teach you how to adjust your energy in lots of different ways. Then we go into understanding concepts, getting a basis. So where is your perspective right now and how do you shift it? What are your assumptions and beliefs? So many underlying assumptions and beliefs that we don't even realize we have. That's always a fun lesson. And I get to like extract that out of you and say, is this serving you? And you get to decide for yourself what you're going to do with that. So, and I never tell people what to do. I make suggestions and I let you figure it out. Like I love bringing people along your own journey. Like I'm on your journey with you. I'm not trying to bring you into my journey. I want to come with you and create something that really does serve you and grows you. So then we go into perspective shift. We go into faith. Like, what do you really believe in? What is your faith actually placed in? Fear and faith both require you to believe in something. And many of us are operating out of fear. So after that, we go into self-identity. Many of us are living from an identity that comes from our past. We don't know how to change that. We go into emotions. I have a whole scale of emotional harmonics. I just worked with a client on that this week. And she was like, I've been telling everyone about this. She's like, I've used that thing. I don't know how many times. And she was someone who didn't want to feel emotions. I was too. But what I realized was we're just moving through them. We don't have to stay stuck in them. So it's okay to feel it when you know this is where I'm at and this is where I'm going. And this is just part of the process I'm moving through. Then we go through the power of the tongue. Your tongue is so powerful. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. And I believe that to be literally true. So every word you speak, you're either speaking life or you're speaking death. And I think when we come to understand the power of that, we're a lot more conscious about how we use our tongue. We go into gratitude. Gratitude is a chapter I wrote in the book, Manifesting with Purpose. It is what changed my life. I mean, God, yes, but God's always been here. God's always been here. He never changes. The thing that changes is us. And gratitude shifted everything for me from a negative to I could get to a neutral and finally a positive when I started being grateful for things. We go into, then we move into like moving forward. So this is broken down into sections for you. Moving forward, we go into gratitude from the end result. Could you be grateful for things that haven't happened yet? That brings on a whole new level of like getting out ahead of life. And then sending love. Love is above all else, and God is love. So how do we do that? We go into flow. How do you get into a flow? You know, when things are just rolling, and for some people, it seems like everything just works out for them. Doesn't matter what they do, what they touch, it makes money, who they're with, that everyone loves them. Like everything's just working out for them all the time. That is an energetic state of flow. How can you get in that? Open to receive. Being open to receive. Many of us desire things, or not even things, yes, experiences, relationships. We have these desires, but for 99% of the time, we are not open to receive them because we do not feel worthy of them. We have not expanded our capacity and we don't think that we're capable. So how can you open yourself up to receive? You will not open yourself up when you're in a state of fear and you're constricted. So that has been a lesson for me that I continue to learn, because as we elevate in life, we start to get scared. Like we kind of hit that glass ceiling. Like I've only done this so far and this is all I know how to do. I don't know how to do that. So could you open yourself up to receive more? more business, more money, more relationships? Like, do you feel you have the capacity to do that? Then we go into manifesting. All manifesting is bringing thought into form. Then we go into meditation, visualizations, affirmations, kind of more of the tools on how to do this. Then we go into facing you, facing your own self, because the only person standing in the way of what you desire and the goodness that is there for you is you. We can think it's all these other things, and we can put blame on other people or our circumstances or whatever. But I truly believe that we all have this inert ability and capacity for more, and that we are the ones that stop the flow of it. So we go into affirmations, facing you, willpower and persistence. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. I mean, we dive deep into it on here. And then the power of focused attention. That has been one of the lessons that I'm still working on learning, and I have to focus on it every day. But I have seen the power of focused attention and what that can do. So that is basically what's covered, and it is an in-depth study. It is a very slowed down version of what we do in the 6 weeks. The 6-week course is like a toolbox. It's like I compress all that into this little toolbox and I give it to you and I say, here you go. And we do group sessions, and we do one-on-one session kind of for implementation for you. And so that's what's involved. So basically I have 2 options to work with me through programs. Why I like doing programs is because so much of my time spent in one-on-one calls is teaching, and it's teaching the same things over and over again. So if you can go in and learn that, and then you have it in your vault, you can listen to it 5 times in 1 week if you need to. But everything's right there. Your workbook, your PDF workbook's in there. Every link, every time I mention anything that has a link to it, a book that I've read, a YouTube video, a podcast, any type of link is also in your vault. So you can go back and view that anytime. So everything is it's together, it's right there for you. And I've tried to make it as simple and as accessible as possible. So that's kind of the part that you do on your own. And then every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we have a group session. And then towards the end of the week is when I book my one-on-one sessions. So that's kind of the layout of what I have to offer. The 6-month course is priced at $7,800. It is tax deductible. You can take it as a business expense or a medical expense. And it is, I've never offered it at 15% off before. And like I said, I don't know that I will ever do that again, but I was like, you know what, let's do it. Let's do 15% off until Friday, this Friday. So that takes off $1,170. This also includes unlimited messaging support from me, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, within reasonable work hours. So you have so much support with you for 6 months. And here's the thing, self-care and mental health and spiritual health. I mean, the medical world does not talk about spiritual health. I feel like those 2 things are very, separate, but I'm telling you right now, and I think that we all understand that it is not separate. We are one being. But those 3 things, your mental health, your physical health, and your spiritual health, they are not a nice to have. They are a must have if you desire to have sustainability in your quality of life. I desire that for you. I desire for you to have an amazing experience while you're here on this earth. And I will tell you right now, I read books, I went to college, I knew what to do, I worked on myself, I listened to podcasts, I read my Bible, I did all of these things. Nothing changed until I made what felt like a large investment into myself. You better believe that when I made that investment, I showed up very differently. I implemented what I learned very differently. I took myself serious at a whole new level, not in a selfish level, but I cannot go serve people. I cannot serve my family. I cannot serve my clients. I cannot be of service to the world and make an impact and make a difference and have the life that I desire, not only the things, but to have the satisfaction of getting to serve. It truly is more blessed to give than receive. Abraham Hicks says you cannot get sick enough to help a sick person be well. You cannot get confused enough to help a confused person get clarity. You cannot become poor enough to help a poor person become wealthy. So if I desire for my world and people in it to be healthy, wealthy, have clarity, have peace, have all these things, I've got to have it first. I cannot give you something I don't have. So I took time and invested time. I invested money. I implemented, I did the work. I did the things. I saw the results. You cannot deny it. I cannot deny it. I did all of this because I truly desire to give it to you. I went and got the experience for myself. And like I said yesterday, you're going to have to show me the proof in the pudding first before I'm going to believe you. But I went and got the proof in the pudding. I did the experience for myself. And now this is why I price this at the price point I do. Also, because yes, clearly I've got to make money at this so that I can continue to show up and do it, or else I'm going to have to go get a different job to pay for this to be a hobby. And that's not going to work. Your time is so valuable. And I've worked with business owners too on increasing their prices because your time is valuable. My time away from my kids, boy, it better be compensated well, or I'm not doing it. And I believe the same is true for you. You have that same value. You have that same potential. And if I could reach the screen and just squeeze you and hug you and shake you and be like, listen, wake up. It's here for you. It's all here for you. Creation is finished. The ability, the capability, the money, any of it is right here for you. Would you step into it? Would you get in alignment with it? And would you step into it? Would you believe that you're worthy of it? Because I'm here to tell you, you are. You have another day on this earth right now today. If you weren't worthy of it, you wouldn't be here. You would have never even been created to be here. I get very passionate about this because I think that there's a lot of lies floating around out there from the enemy to stop us. And it's not some big drastic thing in life that's going to stop us. It's the everyday mundane things that we believe to be true. And if we can start changing that, we can start changing the world. And I can start changing your world. And not only me, but you are going to change your world. I'm going to be right there with you. And this trickles down to everyone around you. Every client I've worked with has brought people that they work with, their clients, their friends, their family. I have a client who bought gratitude journals for her grandkids and taught them how to do that because it made an impact on her. So you're not only making the investment for yourself. Like, yes, number one, you're making it for yourself. Beyond that, though, you're making the investment for your kids, your grandkids, your spouse, your home life, your work environment. Everyone around you is impacted by the energy that you hold and the space that you create. So this trickles down. I've seen people break generational curses. And by that, I don't even mean like a bad curse. Like, I mean generational thought patterns. Maybe I should say it that way. Things that no one before them has been able to break out of to this point, but they did. And now it's going to be different for their kids. So I hope that as a mother, a lot of times we won't do things for ourselves, but if you won't do it for you, would you do it for your kids? Would you do it for your family? Would you do it for those who are to come? And to create that freedom for yourself, I'm telling you, there's so much freedom on the other side. I want it. I want it so bad for you. So that is why I'm so passionate about doing what I do. So $1,170 off until Friday. If you're a previous client, if you've done the 6-week course, or if you've done one-on-one coaching with me before, and you're like, I miss that. I need more of that. I need in that group environment. I need those one-on-one calls again. I want to continue growing. I also offer $500 off if we've previously worked together, up to $500. Whatever your investment was previously, if it was up to $500, we take that off as well. That is a massive discount, and I hope somebody out there takes me up on it because I am ready to work with you. Okay, that is my invitation to you. I'm also offering, if this is like way out of the ballpark range for you, I'm also offering the 6-week self-concept course at 15% off also. That program starts at $1,100. So that is $165 off of that program. Brings it down to $935. So this is only available until Friday at midnight. After that, it'll go down to 10% off until Monday, and then all the discounts will end on Monday. Okay, let's jump into physical health. If you guys have questions, please put them in the chat, whether it be about does anyone have questions about the program even? Like, is there anything else you want to know? We can do one-on-one calls if you have further questions also, or if you're like, how can I would love to find a way. Like, if this is something you desire, let's find a way. Let's find something that works for you. I also have payment plans. If you need a payment plan, are you telling me to do it? Yes, I am. I am telling you that this life is so short, and you know that what you pour into yourself now and the changes you make now are going to impact you for the rest of your life. I put off the decision for quite some time. And at some point, it's like, okay, just do the thing, like there are some things. I tell people this about mission trips too. I got to go to Africa on a mission trip, and it was something I'd always wanted to do. I was in high school though. My dad was like, no, I'm not letting you go to Africa in high school. And so you better believe the day I graduated, I was like, hey dad, guess what? I'm going to go to Africa. And, they had the sign up sheet at church, and I walked right up there, that bulletin board, slapped my name on the list, did not think twice about it. I just went. And I can tell you right now, was that experience tough? Yes. Like, there was so many things we had to do to prepare to go. So many things when we got home. It was a 2-week-long trip. Like, it rocked my whole world. But I can tell you that experience alone changed the trajectory. Woo, I'm about to cry. I am going to cry, man. It changed the trajectory of my entire life. It changed my perspective on life. It built my faith in ways that nothing else could. And I'm telling you that I have got to experience things in a whole different way that I know I never would have had I not gone and done that. And now I came back, and for years I tried to figure out, because I knew I wanted to have a family. Like, I was torn between two things. I was like, I want to have this family, and we have our cattle, and we do all these things, and I love it, so much. And I adore my kids, I adore my husband, I adore the life that we get to have, and I'm so grateful for it. And at the same time, there was a hole in my heart that could not be filled. The service that I got to go, the way I got to go serve when I was there, the receptivity to the gospel there, just so many things that I had a longing in my heart to get back to. Golly, I have found that in coaching people here, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to get to do it. And I know that it is so much more impactful when you have the opportunity to make that investment for yourself and in yourself. Things are different here than they are in Africa. We are so distracted. We have so much going on that it takes something to get our attention sometimes. To say, okay, I'll show up on the call. Okay, I'll do the homework. I will do the things. And to stick with it with that persistence and that sustainability. So when I get to come on here and do these sessions and do summits and coach people who are with me on the thing, and to see them move forward, to see their growth, to see their freedom to be unlocked in such a way, it brings me so much joy. Like, I have made my mind up that I will be here and I will do this no matter what. that is how committed I am to this. And that is the changes that I have seen in people's lives. It is so worth it to me. And so I don't even know how I got off on that tangent, and now I'm all a mess. But we're just going to practice what we preach here today. You can take a deep breath and you can recenter and you can remember why you're here. And you can trust the process and you can allow yourself to feel every bit of it also. I love you too, girl. All right. I guess what I'm saying is there's some experiences in life that you just go and you just do and you just have the experiences because they're well worth it. Okay, that's enough of that. All right, let's move on. Physical health. If you guys have questions, drop them over there. We're jumping into physical health. My clock is not showing today over here. Okay, we have 30 minutes. Here we go. Oh, you can do it. You can do it. All right, so we're on page 12. Stress and an overstimulated nervous system. I'm going to bring this box over here so I can see things better. There we go. All right. Stress and an overstimulated nervous system. So many of us are walking around a world of stress, and a lot of it is our perception of what stress is. Some of us do have a lot of stress, very real problems that we're facing and things like that. Most of us have inconveniences. So as you work on this, your nervous system can also get very overstimulated. There's a lot of reasons for this. I'm not going to go into all of it because I'm literally going to fly through this. What I want this to be for you, not that you have to take everything in, but if there's anything that resonates as you're like, I'm struggling with that, I feel that, just jot it down and then go research it. Or if you need some help, message me and I will send you resources. I will send you things on this. But as far as your nervous system is concerned, we can store trauma in our nervous system and in our fascia system. So this can also be stimulated by maybe not an event happening, but either a perceived threat, meaning we worry about everything, or a memory of a past trauma. Just thinking about it can instantly trigger this nervous system response. So a couple things that you might experience if you're highly stressed and your nervous system's overstimulated is weight gain that is difficult to lose, body aches, increased heart rate, bowel motility issues, nausea, a weak immune system, low libido, trouble with your memory, concentration, trouble, poor judgment, anxiousness, racing thoughts. And so you have your fight or flight, which we talked about that yesterday, but you were made to be in a state of rest and digest in our parasympathetic nervous system. What happens a lot of times is our sympathetic nervous system gets triggered, and it gets triggered real fast. It gets turned on very quickly. This fight or flight response is where we stay there too long, and that's when damage starts to happen. And it takes some time to get back into the parasympathetic nervous system. So one of them gets turned on real fast, and the other one, it takes a while to get us calmed back down into where we're meant to be at all times. Okay, so we did the vagus nerve reset yesterday, and then cold plunge therapy is also really effective in helping heal your nervous system and helping it remember what it's supposed to be like, because this induces a stress response for the vagus nerve. So it signals norepinephrine release, which is that feel-good hormone when you do cold plunges or cold therapy. Okay, moving on, detoxification and lymphatic system. So this is like liver, kidneys, and your lymph nodes. So if you're struggling in this area, what that may present like is you feel sluggish. You get sick often. Your immune system always feels under attack. Viruses, bacteria present very easily. Heavy metals, having them being flushed out, toxin overload. So things that can help with this, like the daily things that we are in contact with, that are just overloading our lymphatic system and our detoxification system. It's crazy. Like, working on this system of your body, to me, is not an option anymore. For me, it's a necessity, and I think it is for everyone. You may be aware of it and you may not be aware of it, but I can almost guarantee you that you will feel significantly different and better if you will work on detoxing your body. So lymphatic drainage, movement. Movement moves the deep lymph nodes that are deep within your muscles. And you can do dry brushing and things. We talked about that in our last group session. You can do dry brushing for your more superficial work. I was reading the chat box for your more superficial lymph nodes. So, and then drinking water, you must stay hydrated. Lymph is liquid. If you want it to move, we must keep it hydrated. Lemon water is great for that. Massage therapy is great for detoxing and lymphatics. And then, like I said, dry brushing, fascia blasting, exercise, all of those things. So, and then you can also do different detoxes and, like a 3-day detox or different fasts or different cleanses, things like that. Okay, immune system on page 13. Immune system, Epstein-Barr virus, and genetic mutations. So as far as your immune system is concerned, a lot of people have had or do have Epstein-Barr viruses. This virus is so common in our childhood, and it's kind of like chickenpox, like it lays dormant. But when we go through, especially hormonal changes, so pregnancies, our cycles, stress, dramatic life changes, things like that, this virus can get triggered and it can turn back on and start to grow and reproduce inside of your body. And it can take up to 180 days for it to be in an active phase. So this is a long-term immune issue. This virus has also been known to turn on other things like fibromyalgia, like rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune issues, because your body's trying to fight against it. So this virus feeds off of iron, it feeds off hormones and heavy metals. It goes hand in hand with strep. I used to get strep maybe 3-4 times a year. I feel like I was always in the doctor's office when I was a kid. Another strep infection. So then I'd be on antibiotics, and then it's just this whole cycle. And so, but this virus is very highly correlated with strep infections. And it also creates an environment for other types of bacteria, other types of viruses, because it just tanks your immune system. Okay, so genetic mutations. MTHFR is the most common one. There are other ones out there. I think they're learning more and more about this all the time. The MTHFR, though, the M stands for the methylation piece. So when we take vitamins, we take them in, it's kind of like we don't use it in the form that we take it in. Our body processes it, it methylates it, it breaks it down into a form that's usable. So it's kind of like extracting oil out of the ground, taking it to the refinery, and then we have gasoline to put in our car. You don't just take crude oil out of the ground and put it directly into your car. Same with our body. People that have this genetic mutation cannot methylate their vitamins properly. So it does not matter how many vitamins you're taking, especially if they're not already methylated. Your body's not processing that, it's not able to use it. So this can present as mood disorders because you're doing this constantly. They don't feel good. Anxiety, depression, outbursts of anger, hormonal imbalances, because if you don't have the building blocks put in place, your hormones are going to start going wacko. Immune system challenges, autoimmune issues, and bowel issues and gut issues. And most of it is a motility issue because, so especially with our B vitamins, for them to be methylated it's very important. People with this genetic mutation really struggle to break down their B vitamins. B vitamins are a very key component in our muscle, in like the motility of how our muscles move. So they feel very sore and achy a lot of times. And they're not able to move, which our bowels are made up of muscle that moves the waste products out of our body. So if we don't have proper building blocks for our muscles and they're not doing their job, we have a motility issue, which then toxins, the waste product, is sitting in the body too long. It's being reabsorbed because most of these people also have leaky gut. And so all of this is being reabsorbed back into your bloodstream and continuing to keep you at a toxic, in a more toxic environment. These people usually also have trouble detoxing. Their pathways just don't work properly. So detoxification, like aiding in that, all those things that we just talked about, can really help them. Okay, moving beyond that, gut health and blood sugar. So we just mentioned a little bit about gut health, leaky gut, everything's seeping back into the bloodstream, and it's just a whole thing. You also are not absorbing vitamins and minerals well. So if we're not absorbing it and everything's sitting too long, usually like headaches can present, brain fog, bloating, like all of the things that are like normal, but this is also very highly connected. Your gut is highly connected to your brain function and your immune system. So it is imperative that you take care of your gut. And with our Western diet and what they're doing to our food, I don't know if you're up on to date on all of this or not, but there's a bajillion documentaries out there, Netflix, there's podcasts, like you can go learn all you want to learn. Basically, they're all the same though. Like if they're poisoning our food, they're spraying it, anything that's enriched, like enriched wheat flour that goes in, say, cereals, breakfast bars, pasta, bread, rice, anything that says enriched, it is sprayed with a chemical called folic acid. Guess what? People with MTHFR, and I say this, people with MTHFR, this is 40 to 50% of Americans have this genetic mutation. What do you think is going to happen to the next generation? Okay, how many of them are going to have it? And then the next, how many of them are going to have it? So you can get a test. You can ask your doctor. You can order them online that will tell you if you have this. And it is so worth knowing, because if you know, then you can know what to do for it, or you can find a doctor that will help you figure out what to do for it. But beyond this, so going back to folic acid and folate are two very different things. You cannot process folate. It does not work. You cannot process folic acid. You need folate. And when folic acid, which is the enriched, whatever says enriched wheat on any label, gets into the receptor site where the folate is meant to go, now this is blocking it and it cannot use folate. So getting that out of your diet, basically just we've kind of went carnivore at our house. And basically we eat a lot of meat, and then we eat some fruits and vegetables. And we really do try to do organic as much as possible. I think we'd be best just going back to growing our own food at our own house and just going out there and picking it and eating it. So anyhow, that's kind of my spiel on that. There's so many other people talking about all those things, but to boil it down to making it simple, meat, fruit, vegetables, just start there. It's so easy also. Like it is fast, it is easy, it is doable. See if you can just go that route and see what happens. Okay. So, gut health, probiotics, prebiotics help, fermented foods, kombucha, things like that to get good, healthy bacteria restored, especially if you've been on antibiotics. It is so important to restore your gut bacteria after that. Magnesium, a lot of people are low on magnesium. We're going to talk about this. This kind of goes hand in hand with the vitamin and mineral deficiency on the next page. So I'll just talk about it. But that looks like people getting headaches, people not sleeping well. Magnesium is also good for your muscles. Your muscles are also your bowels that move things. So if you struggle with that, a very simple thing that we do. I'm really trying not to make suggestions for you to do. I'm just telling you what we do, because I'm not a doctor, and this all needs to be checked with your doctor and make everything legal and politically correct right now. Go check with your doctor before you do anything that I'm saying. So magnesium, several people, it is a mineral that a lot of people are low on. It is a very easy, it really amazes me that we will pour the laxatives down us and into our system when there are natural laxatives all around us. Magnesium is one of them. Not dates, prunes. Prunes are another one. Prune juice, kombucha, like all of these things are very natural laxatives that you might want to look into. Okay, so as far as gut health goes, as well as the immune system, we talked about that and the connection with the brain. Detoxing, oh my goodness, detoxing is so good for your gut health. And The foods we're eating, like I said, they can destroy your gut, whatever they're sprayed with. Like I think so many people too, we have gluten intolerances, dairy. Dairy is made for a baby calf. Like milk from a cow was made for a baby calf. The proteins in it are made to grow this massive baby calf, not a 20-pound infant toddler. So, and not us either. I mean, my system doesn't do well with dairy. So consider that, if your body's not breaking down dairy and all the proteins in it that are not created for a human, for some reason, that just kind of makes sense to me. I don't know why this logically is tough for us sometimes to be like, oh, weird. But anyhow, okay, so dairy, gluten, all of those things. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of our gluten things are not necessarily a gluten issue. I think it's more of a Roundup issue that's being sprayed onto the wheat to kill it so that they can harvest it at the time they want to harvest it. So I think there's just a whole lot of things. I could spend a lot of time on this, but those are kind of some of the main ones. Gluten, sugar, dairy. Sugar is the enemy of focus. If you want to have brain fog, go eat a bunch of sugar. If you want to grow bacteria and viruses and cancer cells, go eat a bunch of sugar. If you want to not lose weight, go eat a bunch of sugar. Like, I'm telling you, cut sugar out of your diet. Just cut it out. Just go eat a bunch of fruit if you feel the need and the urge to eat sugar. Okay, so that's kind of my spiel on that. And okay, so nothing can replace for you. No vitamin, no mineral, no medicine, there is nothing out there. No red light therapy, no chiropractor, no nothing is going to replace sleep, healthy food, and exercise and movement, and also connections with humans and connections with God. There is nothing out there that's going to replace those 4 things. Those are all free for you to do. Just will you have the persistence and willpower to do it? I think 75% of our health issues, would be solved if we would do those 4 things. Okay, vitamin and mineral deficiency. So magnesium, we already talked about that one a little bit. Iron is a big one, especially for women who are cycling. And like I said, viruses, especially Epstein-Barr virus, feeds off of iron. Parasites. Oh, I didn't even talk about parasites. Oh gosh. Gut health and parasites, like probably 70 to 80% of us are walking around with parasites. It's not uncommon. You're not weird. You're not gross because you have them. You live on planet Earth and you eat food that comes from the earth. You probably have had parasites, or eating pork also. So there's lots of parasite cleanses out there and things. If you want more information on that, please reach out to me. It is something that we do at our house very frequently. Okay. But parasites feed off of iron. Viruses feed off of iron. Your cycle, just even after having babies, it can take years. And I speak this from experience. It is taking me years to get my iron stores back up to where they needed to be. And so it's something I'm still working on even. But that's a big one. What that looks like, you can feel very tired. Again, your immune system goes down. Again, brain fog, like it affects how like mentally strong you feel and physically strong, how your strength in general. So those are kind of the main ones, like hair loss, skin issues. A lot of those things can be due to a lack of iron. There's different types of iron. So if you're going to supplement with iron, be sure to research that. There's liquid, there's chewables. There's a bariatric, I think it's called Fusion, a bariatric chewable iron. That's one of them that I've taken before. I like that one. And iron can be hard on your stomach. It can be hard on your teeth. So just paying attention to, taking it with food and all the things. So you can look into that. If you need help, like seriously, if you need help or you would like any further information on any of this, please reach out to me. Okay, then vitamin D. We are not outside near enough. I say that as I sit right here at this computer, not moving and not being outside. And so it is so important if your vitamin D levels are low to supplement with vitamin D. Vitamin D and vitamin K have an inverse relationship, meaning that if one is low, the other one's probably low. So it's really tough to bring your vitamin D up if you don't have vitamin K with it, because they help each other basically. So there's liquid. I really like liquid forms of vitamins as much as possible. I think it's easier for us to absorb into our stomachs that are probably having leaky gut issues. Even if you can get like infusions, the IV infusions of vitamins, I think those are awesome. Okay, so vitamin D though, getting outside is gonna be your best bet. You will convert it in a whole different way than taking it in a supplement form. But if you're unable to do that, I think supplementing is crucially important. Vitamin D is actually a hormone, so it affects all of your hormones. It affects your sleep, it affects your brain function. It is also absorbed with fat. So taking it with fat, it needs to be taken in that form. I'm gonna get my words out, I promise. We were up a little late last night chasing kiddos around the ball games. Okay, vitamin D in conjunction, taking it with fat, it will absorb. Okay. And that's a huge one, especially for women and men alike. It's very important, especially in the wintertime. It affects your immune system also. Like all of these things are all intertwined. You are one human whole being, and so much of this is intertwined together. So that, even checking into your hormones and seeing what they're looking like. But if you do all of these building blocks to support your hormones, I'm not saying that they'll be perfect, but I would almost bet that they would be improved. A lot of us too, like we are overexposed to estrogen in plastics, in the hormones that they give to the animals that we eat, in the herbicides, pesticides that are on our food. Those are endocrine disruptors. Your hormones are endocrine, part of your endocrine system. So it's disrupting all of this. And there's different ways that you excrete estrogen, and sometimes those pathways don't work very well. So you're not getting the extra estrogen out and it's building up, which is causing your progesterone and testosterone normally to go down. So there are ways to naturally get estrogen, excess estrogen out of your body. If you need help on that, let me know. One key thing with low progesterone, which a lot of women struggle with, is not sleeping well and feeling very anxious when you try to go to bed. And then also like acne during your cycle, that can be from low progesterone, high estrogen. And then also your testosterone being off and all those things. Okay. Anyhow, if you need help on hormones, I'm here for that too. All right. Sunlight, nature, and sleep. What time are we at? Oh, we're almost done. Okay. This is so important, and I know it is a very simple thing, and it's something that we overlook, but 20 minutes of sunlight and going and putting your feet on the ground will reset your circadian rhythm. The electrical charge, we are normally, all the toxins that we're exposed to have a positive charge. I say most of them have a positive charge. So we start building up this high positive charge inside of our body that we're not the earth has a negative charge. So when you go outside and you step on the ground with your bare feet, this electrical charge starts to, like you dump the excess positive charge and it neutralizes basically. And so it is so incredibly powerful to go do that. I think God created that for us and we don't take advantage of it near enough. And then it also helps with sleep. It helps with healing, like just sleep alone helps with your healing. There is no other thing that you can possibly do that will heal your body as much as sleep. Go get some good rest. Everything heals. Your gut heals during sleep. This is why they recommend you eat an early dinner. And then if you fast in the morning, your gut is getting all that amount of time to heal, to reset, to take the load off of your gallbladder, your pancreas, all these things that are producing enzymes to break down your food, your liver, all of this stuff. It's taking the load off of that to have to filter and break down and produce enzymes to break down all the food and do all these things. Like your body needs rest. Give it that rest, like honor yourself, honor the process, see it as something that's productive. Rest, my friend, rest. Okay. Your gut, your sleep helps heal your gut. It helps heal your nerves also. Your nerve endings heal, I forget how much faster when you're asleep, but it's like profoundly different. And you need that deep REM sleep, rapid eye movement. Like there are different levels of sleep. There's different brain waves, different patterns that you go into, really getting into those deeper waves of sleep is super beneficial. And sometimes, like if you're waking up often, you're not getting to those deeper cycles of sleep that are essential for your body to heal and for your brain to even function properly the next day. So beyond all that, emotional patterns connected with areas of our body. So we hold, as a massage therapist, I started really understanding this on a higher level, that we hold emotions in our body. I think I already talked about this a little bit, but I have a book that helps me to look up different emotional patterns that are associated with different areas of your body, different organs, different glands, different like hormonal glands, adrenal glands. Every area of your body pretty much is in that book, and we can look it up and find kind of what might be some thought patterns that you're repeating, that you're carrying a negative energy in that certain area of your body. And so you're experiencing something happening there, whether it be pain, whether it be like your thyroid gland not working properly, or your gut, or whatever it might be. I think it's really, really worth looking into the thought processes and programs that might be on repeat in your mind, that you might be storing energy in your body in certain places. Okay, that was a real quick rundown of all of that. So I hope that that's helpful. Like I said, one more time, if there's anything that like rang a bell with you that you would like more information on, or you'd just like help with, if you'd like to know, so I have resources of, I can send you like the doctors that we've used that we like, the supplements that we use that we like, anything that you would like information on, I'd be more than happy to send it your way. So please just reach out and let me know. Again, one more time, everything, our 6-month and our 6-week program are on sale, 15% off until Friday. And I'll be more than happy and excited to work with you on that. If you have yet to schedule a call, please book your call soon. I have a couple spots, I think, on Friday left, and then maybe 2 days next week left for those calls, and then that is finished. On the call, it does not have to be a sales call. Like if you would like to know about the programs, I'd be more than happy to walk you through that. But it does not have to be that. If you're like, Lauren, like I'm, not ready for that yet, that's okay. But if you just have questions about like anything that we've covered over these 3 days, I know that's a ton of information I just threw at you. I would be happy to help you in any way that I can, whether it be your physical health, your mindset, or your spiritual health. Okay. That's a wrap, y'all. We did it. Thank you again so much for joining me. I know that your time is very, very valuable. I honor that. I honor your time. I know people are busy and doing lots of things. And so for you to be here with me this 3 days, it really, truly does mean a lot. I hope it's been worth it for you. I would love for you to go share your experience in our Facebook group. Like if this was helpful for you, would you go and Ignite Outcomes and share what the experience was like for you? Maybe something that you learned, an eye-opening experience, like anything, because I would love to get this information out to more people. I think so many people could use this. And stories are powerful. My stories are powerful and yours are too. And I love for other people to get to be highlighted and your voice to get to be heard too. So thank you again so much for joining me. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. I look forward to working with some of you. And yeah, until next time.